This is Mike Loveday from StudentSportsLacrosse.com, and I'm talking to Jake Christensen. He's a 2015 attacker from Quince Orchard High School in Maryland, and he's got some college visits coming up, and we're going to talk a little bit about the recruiting. So Jake, before why don't you just kind of walk us through what your recruiting has been like up to this point?
Well, recruitment is always has its ups and downs. There's frustration in it, but as of right now, I've got a couple schools. I've got West Point, which is I'm going next week for a visit, and after that, I'm going to Dartmouth College, and then UMBC for visits. But other schools that have showed interest and will want to see me play more in the fall and make a decision after the fall are schools like Lehigh, Brown, and Boston University. I went up to Boston for a visit / camp thing in the summer, and I loved it there. So that's definitely one of my top choices. I'd love to go there. But other than that, those are the main schools.
Okay. So you mentioned a little bit of frustrations before we talk about that. What have been some of your favorite things about the recruiting process? Because obviously this is something you only really get to do once. So what's
Yeah.
been the most enjoyable part of the process?
Well, it's exciting. So surprising too. You'll have some surprisement and stuff like that. One event was September 1st, just getting emails and stuff. That was pretty exciting at 12 o'clock at night. I got a couple actually, forgot to mention, like Lafayette, and Fairfield and Lehigh. So
So
that's
you were actually up at midnight when
yeah,
those emails came in.
exactly.
That's going to be kind of exciting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit of frustrations. What's been one of the frustrating parts about it?
Well, you got a school, you're talking to a school, and then all of a sudden they say, "Well, we want to see you play more," or we don't. Or we've already filled up our recruiting class for your year, and it's awfully early. But lacrosse for 2015 or in general, it starts very early in those top tier schools. Make and fill their class really quick. So that's one of the frustrations, is because I didn't start till this is my first real summer of lacrosse, first competitive summer of lacrosse, because I started my lacrosse career going into freshman year, and I have had to work hard and take off other sports just to work on lacrosse, because what my dream is to play college lacrosse. So the frustrating part is just the recruiting. The recruitment starts really early,
Yeah, yeah, and you mentioned
and
you
those
said
and those classes.
yeah, you mentioned you got a late start, but I guess you've come on a lot lately because you were part of the Under Armour uncommitted games, obviously at Towson this past summer. You've been Maryland Free State top 22, Bryan All-American National Lacrosse Classic. You said you represented Team DC, obviously first team All Division, but you also earned a little bit of honor from Inside Lacrosse and earning one of your top 5 guys in your class from the uncommitted games. So. How do you kind of feel some of that stuff has actually helped you? You know, you mentioned it being a little bit late in the process, which is kind of crazy for a guy going into his junior year, but it's the way the sport works. So how much do you think stuff like that and being able to have that kind of stuff on your resume has helped you?
It's definitely helped me because now, first of all, the one thing is I can present that in emails to coaches, which most of them at the Under Armour were all there. That was the biggest recruiting event. I'm also kind of surprised because I had a pretty good summer that I haven't got contacted that much, but I mean, it happens. I'm not the biggest guy on the field, so there's always disadvantages and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Now you've already mentioned you're heading to Army this weekend. You said you had Army on the 21st of September, Dartmouth on October 8th, and then UMBC October 11th and 12th. I know you got a big weekend planned at Army. So what's kind of on the schedule for this weekend?
well, this weekend seems pretty exciting. I leave after school on Thursday, miss whole day of school on Friday. Well, it's gonna be me, my mom, my dad, and my sisters, and I go to the classroom with. I basically am a shadow of a cadet. I go in the classroom, and then I go to practice, and then I sleep with them in the dorms. Go to the football game the next day as part of the recruiting roundup, and then tailgate at the coach's house after the game, and then the next day, I have something called the Black Knight 50, which is kind of a showcase for the players.
Yeah. So you excited, looking forward to it, nervous, a little bit all?
Yeah, yeah, definitely a little bit all.
Okay. And I know we did a little bit of pre-interview before, so you said your club team, which is play for the Baltimore Crabs, right?
About Baltimore Crabs hard shells.
Hard shows.
2015.
And you guys said you haven't come up with your fall schedule yet, but you're obviously, and I guess in what about 6 weeks, when the recruiting period opens up, that's when a couple of the colleges said that they're looking forward to seeing you play and talking to you after that.
Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah.
what's that kind of like for you, knowing that in a couple weeks you might even have even more interest at that point?
Um, well, first of all, over the summer, they college coaches say the same thing. They're going to see you play more. And well, I'm kind of used to playing in front of college coaches now. It's almost like a regular thing. But it's exciting because once you play well, like if you play well, you know that you've impressed them, and you know you've done your job on that on your side at the end.
Yeah. So it's a little bit takes a little bit of nerves off.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, switching gears a little bit because we've gotten to the fall and obviously this coming spring. For those who don't know, QO is always one of those teams that are in the hunt in 4A here in Maryland. Kind of quickly recap your guys' 2013 season for us. Like, how did you guys do, and how did you do individually?
As a team, we started off okay. Well, we got a new coach in because Coach Kowalik left, and we have Coach Gonzalez now, he's an awesome coach too. Our main focus was this year is to just build as a team, start building the program, and we also had a lot of seniors, so we wanted them to leave on a good note. But by the end of the year, we had one of the biggest upsets in school history. We upsetted Churchill in overtime, and the season as a team was ended up pretty good. We ended up winning our last two games, but then lost in the playoffs. But our regular season games to beat Churchill and Sherwood, who are both pretty good teams, we definitely showed tons of potential in the season, and we definitely got work done. But as a player, I wasn't too happy with my performance. I wanted to increase my assists from my freshman year because I didn't have many at all. So I did that. I had about 25, but I didn't score as many goals. But I still was happy with my assist game because that's really important to me, is just being a team player. And me as a player, again, I just didn't perform up to what I wanted to because I was kind of in a slump in the first couple weeks, but then kicked in. But I'm hoping for next season to be better too.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the upcoming season. What do you guys got coming back? Obviously, you got the coach, first year coach last year. He's back this year, so I'm sure that's got to make it a little bit easier to, you don't have that learning curve that you might have had last year. So what do you guys got coming back? What's the team outlook for 2014?
We're gonna be pretty young. My year is pretty strong, and the year above me, the seniors, they're strong, but they don't have that many players. But we should be pretty good. We've already started workouts for next season, and working hard with that, trying to be a leader on the team. And our goal next year is again to keep building the program up and to build more respect for the program, and also perform even better than we did last year. And also, we lost about 13 seniors, I think it is, but as a team, we're still staying together, and still doesn't matter. We put that behind us and do what we do.